We are only 2 months away from the grand opening of Epic Universe. And as a super fan of How to Train Your Dragon for the last 15 years, I am absolutely beyond excited to experience Isle of Berk for the very first time. But right now, team members are actually getting a preview to experience Epic Universe for the first time. However, they are not allowed to post 90% of what they're experiencing, but that 10% that they have been has gone a really long way. And a lot of new things have been revealed about the Isle of Berk, not just from the team member previews, but from other sources as well, giving us a closer look at the park and some cool things that we can expect. So today, I'm going to be going over all of that. Now, I can't think of a better way to start this video than talking about the entrance itself. Recently, some overhead photos have dropped of the entry portal to the Isle of Berk, and there's a really cool design out front that many might miss. Now, this looks like it might be a random design, but actually, it's based on the shield that Hiccup brings with him during his first attempt to befriend Toothless in the first movie. But most of the fun is going to start once we enter the park, so let's go check out what's in there. So right when you walk in, there's a giant stone that looks like it has a map full of dragons on it, and this was just speculation from a few people that I saw, but then I ended up doing my own research, and it turns out all of these dragon designs and the map itself line up perfectly with a map from a book that I own that released alongside the second movie. It has the exact same designs of Berk as well as each and every dragon. So this has a Night Fury, a Gronkle, a Rumblehorn, a Hideous Zibbleback, a Deadly Natter, a Monstrous Nightmare, a Hot Purple, and a Terrible Terror. It was a little hard making out every single one of those dragons until I accidentally stumbled upon that photo. And I believe I'm the only person on Earth to have reported this so far, so thank me. You're welcome. Now, as of right now, team members are only allowed to be posting 2 things. One is any of their merch that they purchased, and the other is any photo taken at one of the photo ops in the park, which includes dragon meet and greets. So we now have our first incredible and many looks at Toothless. Now this Toothless animatronic looks incredible. He is super expressive, everybody's been giving him rave reviews, you'll be able to make him laugh, make him smile, and you may even be lucky enough to touch his head, just like in the movie. But I hear only the best dragon trainers are going to be allowed to do that. Now, I've seen a lot of questions about whether or not he's a puppet or an animatronic, and he is fully animatronic. Now, he's stationary, which I think is a pretty good idea for a character like Toothless. As the overall mascot for the brand, I feel like it makes sense for him to be stationary, otherwise he'd be totally swarmed in the park. So I'm glad that he's not a walk-around character. And we can see that he's mounted to the stone under his right paw, as well as his tail being around that rock in the back. Apparently he is a character that moves around quite a bit despite this. And of course, you can't have Toothless without Hiccup, who we have also been able to see many photos of. And I was wondering for ages what they were going to do about the missing foot. I wasn't sure if they were going to have to hire somebody who was already missing one, or if they were just going to have to chop it off of an existing team member for park realism, you know? But it looks like instead, the costume is just, it's just a black foot, so... And it is the second movie's costume, which I think is awesome. That's one of my favorite designs. Honestly, everything about the second movie's designs, I love. I will continue to be raving about that here. So I'm just really glad that the park is really going with all of those design choices. It just makes me very happy as a fan. Another cool thing that I noticed is that in some photo ops, not all, he's actually wearing a cape, which is only ever seen in the end of the third movie when he's 31 years old. But I am not bothered by that. I think it looks really cool. And if anything, it's just giving him a much more chiefly vibe. And another cool meet and greet we're seeing is also Astrid, who again is sporting her look from movie 2. Love to see it. And while I haven't seen any team members post photo ops with Astrid and her dragon Stormfly, Universal themselves have posted a reel of this, and Stormfly looks incredible. A lot of people have been saying she looks a lot like her counterpart in the Untrainable Dragon show, which is another great thing to hear, because she looks like she's ripped straight out of the movie here. And we can see that this dragon is puppeteered by a human on the inside, similar to how the raptors are in all of the Jurassic areas of the park. And this allows for a lot more mobility, which I think is nice, again, for Stormfly's character. It's just going to be so cool. I can't wait to see it all. But on top of that, there are still a few more meet and greets that we currently know of. And the one that's being absolutely raved about on social media right now are the twins, Rough Nut and Tough Nut. Everybody's talking about how funny they are, how goofy all the interactions have been, and how they've been lifted right from the screen into the parks, and what a faithful adaptation it is. Another one that I haven't seen anybody really talk about, but it was shown in an overhead photo, is a meet and greet with Gobber the Belch in his forge. Now this makes sense as that's going to be a giant set piece in the park, that I really haven't seen anything else about, but that's nice to know that he'll be there because alongside him, and you might not have seen this, is his dragon, Grump the Hot Burple. Now, in a recent Universal podcast, there was talk about a 16-foot long dragon animatronic that breathes fire. And at first I was thinking, like, this couldn't be something new. It couldn't be like in Diagon Alley, because I feel like we probably would have heard about that by now. But because Grump is so secluded and lazy and sleeping, it probably just lights up a little bit, because in the movies, he wakes up from his sleep every once in a while to light Gobber's Forge, and I feel like that's probably what's going to happen here. But still super cool that we're getting such a big animatronic for such a minor character. And while this one isn't news, I still think it's really cool that they're bringing in the Snow Wraith, because that's just a random dragon from the TV show, and I think it's so cool how they're implementing it into the park. So, we've seen it 1,000 times, but look at it again, because I love it. But surprisingly, that's not even the last of the dragon meet and greets. As you may have seen by now, because this has been making waves all over the internet, we are getting meet and greets with Dart, the Nightlight. And I think there's rumors of the other Nightlights. I'm not totally sure, but I'm pretty sure there are. The movements are all very similar to a Boston Dynamics robot, which is really cool because they can always keep balance, move around freely, and they do this little tippy tap with their legs that looks like the dragon paws having fun. Perfectly suitable for a baby dragon to do. Now, I will warn you, this Dart is going to be my girlfriend's favorite thing in the entire park. So if you see this thing coming out and you see me making a distraction while she runs off with it, you saw nothing. Just letting you know, you saw nothing. But also, the Nightlights will only be the first of 3 baby dragon trios that you'll find in the park so far. Recent looks have shown 3 baby Scuttleclaws hanging out in the park. Now, I'm not sure if these are statues or animatronics or if they even move much at all, but it shows them going through barrels of fish. And I think that's really cute. I'm not sure if they're going to be making any noise or any movements, but if I had to think, they're either statues that will have some baby dragon noises playing nearby, or maybe their wings or their tails move a little bit. Okay, so as I'm editing this, I noticed that they're fighting over a piece of fish, which makes me think that maybe they move back and forth like the compies on the Jurassic Park ride. And also we know there's a trio of baby Gronkles that are going to be on Hiccup's wing gliders, which again are super cool and cute. And I hear that they're not even the only scene on the ride, which is also very promising, and now I can only wonder what kind of other dragons or any other scenes there might be on that ride. I am very excited. And we actually got our first up-close look at the dragon drones that are going to be flying above the park. They're going to come in 2 varieties, Monstrous Nightmares and Gronkles. Now, I don't think these dragons will be flapping. I think they'll just be floating overhead, acting as a nice silhouette, which I think is very nice. But it's good to finally get an up-close look at what these dragons will look like. And it's still nice to see how much detail goes into something that's going to be 50 feet over our heads at all times. And of course, throughout the park, there's going to be a ton, like I'm talking dozens and dozens of other dragon species represented in the form of tails and heads poking out of little dragon houses or parts of the dragon racing stands and other areas of the park. One that I'd like to specifically take note of is the Gronkle booty popping out of a drying station right outside of Fire Drill. So now we know we can ride that and dry off after, which is definitely comforting to anybody who wouldn't want to be soaking wet all day. Now, when I go to the park on opening day, I'm going to be spending a lot of time capturing and trying to see every single one of these dragons and identify them each accordingly. So if you want to see that, please do subscribe. I will be absolutely doing that. But I am super excited about this one in particular. Right outside of the untrainable dragon, there is a triple strike tail, or tails, because they have 3, but I love it. That's my second favorite dragon of all time, and I'm really excited about this, so this whole endeavor is going to be awesome for me. Now, I mentioned earlier about the new merch coming out, and there is so much that I can't even cover it all in this video, and they're going to keep releasing things every single day, so the second I put this out, it'll already be outdated, so I'm just going to talk about some of my highlights right now. And I'd like to thank everybody who allowed for me to share their photos, which includes Book Girl at House of Books, Lindsay at Lynn Slayer, Alicia Stella at Alicia Stella, and Jacob at Jay in Florida. Thank you so much for sharing these images. These are all really awesome pieces, and I cannot believe that I get to talk about them. But anyway, we have a really cool This Is Berk mug that showcases the dragon and the Viking statues that appear when you enter the park, that sit in the water and dazzle while doing so. I wonder if you could fill this mug with the water that they're sitting in. Okay, don't actually try that. People have been kicked out for that. Don't do it. Easily one of my favorite pieces of merch so far is this giant blanket they have with several dragons depicted on it. I love this so much. You have no idea how much I love this. This is a day one buy for me. This is going to be draped over my couch in 10 years, 20 years. I'm going to be buried in this blanket, you guys. And then there's another really cute Toothless backpack. A lot of people have really been talking about this, so I guess it's really cool. I've got my Toothless backpack. I'm cool right now. But if you're in need, go and get this one, you know? And then there's a Book of Dragons replica notebook, which I think is so cool. I actually just got gifted a Book of Dragons replica in which I do some dragon artwork in. Hashtag thank you, girlfriend. But this one looks really cool, and maybe I could take notes about the park in it, so I will also be purchasing this one as well. Now, we also have some plushies of some sheep, a dragon's bag, a Toothless bucket hat, and it turns out the dragon egg bags that have Toothless and the Light Fury in them are only 2 of the 5. There's also Stormfly, Meatlug, and Cloud Jumper, and they're all really, really cute, but I think I'm going to have to go with Cloud Jumper, just because he's a little more uncommon to see as merch, so that'll be really cool to own. And then we have keychains of the Nightlights, again, showing Dart for Danielle, a nice little sheep shirt and hat found in the preview center, so this one's a little bit older. But my other favorite thing, and I'm going to be ordering 20 of these, is a $12 Viking house found in the candy shop, How to Treat Your Dragon, that comes with a mystery flavored candy egg and a mystery dragon training card. How cool is that? I'm losing my mind. Like, you actually have no idea. Like, I'm losing my mind over this. We are getting official dragon training cards, and I'm going crazy for it. I already have the fan-made ones made by Statikin on Etsy. I will link them here because they are so cool. But these are officially released too, and that's even cooler. So I will be ordering tons of them. A, for the candy. B, to get every card. And C, because I love them. So I hope you love them all the same. And if you want to see any more merch, just literally look up Epic Universe merch, Isle of Berk merch, HTTYD merch. Anything online, you'll find it on any social media. They are being posted like wildfire. Also, as a final update, a photo just dropped of the new buses being used on Universal lots. And this one is dragon themed. And while we only see one side of the bus, we see this side has Astrid and Stormfly, Snotlout and Hookfang, a Thunder Drum, and a Snap Trapper. Okay, update number 2 while editing. We now have photos of the other side to the bus. The back has Hiccup and Astrid on a Viking ship, and the other side has a Terrible Terror, Hiccup and Toothless, Rough Nut, Tough Nut, Barf and Belch, Fish Legs and Meatlug, and Cloud Jumper in the back. I will only be riding this one in and out of the parks, so thank you very much. But I want to hear what you're most excited for. If you're a team member, let me know what your highlight was without spoiling anything, please, for my sake and for yours. Or tell me what your favorite piece of merch is. Or tell me what you're looking forward to most when you get to the parks. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on this and hear your opinions on it all. Do you love the blanket as much as I do? Are you going to look away when Danielle steals Dart? I just want to know. But until next time, thank you so much for watching. I have been under the weather, so bringing you this content has been very high priority despite my voice still being a little bit in recovery mode. So thank you again. Please leave a like if you feel so inclined. And if you want to hear more dragon content, please subscribe as well. And I hope to see you guys in Epic 2 months from now. Toodles!